Well, hello. My name is Tanya Lofty, and welcome to Enrichment on the Go once again. I'm very excited to be with you today just to say hello first and foremost and to continue to bring you topics. Enrichment on the Go was created for parents and parents mostly, caregivers some, but mostly parents and caregivers just to help you all with your journey in your child's development. All right. And so today our topic is help my child is all over the place. Now, as an early childhood educator, and I've worked with ages birth through 12 years of age for 18 years. All right. And so, and I have my own two children. I've always shared this, even when we were doing the podcast and even on this page. So, early childhood education is my passion. And also just helping parents, helping parents on this journey of parenthood. And it is not always easy, but I just kind of want to help you to understand, and maybe when your child may be all over the place. And so if your child is all over the place and you just are like, I don't know what to do, I need help, let's talk about it today. All right, so I want to just help you as a parent when you if you are a stay-at-home mom and maybe you're working while you're at home and you have your toddler with you. All right, yes, they're going to still get up early. No matter how early you put them to bed, they're still going to get up early. They're still bursting with energy. This is the time when children are meant to explore, right? They're going to be moving about, and developmentally it's appropriate, right? It's appropriate. Their little bodies, they're not going to sit still, for 40 minutes. You have a toddler who's just turned 2. No, no, no. They're not going to sit still for that long. They're going to be moving and busy, right? And so, what I would like to suggest to you is to make a safe space in the home for your child. Mom, if you're working from home, you have your space, or dad, right? We don't discriminate. So, mom or dad, you're working from home and you have your toddler with you, and maybe they're just busy. Of course, that's what they're going to do. Well, you need to have a space for them as well, one that is safe, right? One that is secure, all right, so that it does not it's not a hindrance to their safety. I want to talk about safety with this, because when they're all over the place and you don't know what to do, there can be some real safety concerns, right? They could get into something and burn their fingers or burn themselves. They could actually hurt their fingers. They could jam their finger in a door. So there are many things that can transpire. And so what you want to do is, one, make sure that the space is safe. Okay. You want to make sure that the space is safe. And so by doing and having a place for them, a designated space for your child. Now, everybody's scenario is different, but having a designated play area in the home for your child is going to help. All right. It's going to help. It's going to help. It's going to help. So I want to show you all some safe spaces. All right. So this is definitely, I just did a quick search, but I wanted to kind of show you a safe space. All right. So this is a safe space for your child, right? This is safe. There's space for the child to move around, right? Everything's out on the parameters. There's something here, but it's a safe space. They can climb if they choose to, right? They can climb up. We don't want them climbing on the table. So, we're going to tell them no, thank you. But this is a safe space where they can move around. It's a free space, right, for them, right? And the one thing you see here is the covers on the outlet. So you want to make sure that it's a space where they can move around, right? You don't want to give them, a few little, unless that's the space that you're working with, right? But this space is very safe. It's open, right? And so you want to have spaces like that where it's not overly crowded, overstimulating, right? And to where the child can move around and explore. Some of these are just just way too busy. But I thought this was a great example. You can get these mats for little to nothing. And so I just wanted to show you a safe space. You definitely want a gate. I will say that again. You want a baby, you want a gate. You want something that will make sure that they're safe in the perimeter. All right. If you have a designated room, you want to make sure there's some type of gate up for them. All right. And then within that space, you want to give them, you saw in the illustration where we had some toys, but listen, blocks, you cannot go wrong with blocks. Okay. Oops. Blocks, they can build, they can spell as they get older. You can do different things with the blocks. I mean, these blocks, I've had them for so many years, but blocks, these are great for them, right? Language development, counting, coloring, the numbers, colors, right? So you want to get items and objects like this that are going to last, right? Heavy objects, items that they're going to use and play with. You don't know what the children can build with blocks, right? But you want them to use their imagination, right? So now we're stacking the blocks. You know, they may do side to side. They may create a home. Another amazing, some other manipulatives, to have in the home, if you feel like your child is all over the place, is manipulatives of such, so you can take these apart, right? These are great to have in the home. I've seen them build towers and cars, and I mean, just everything, right? You can get them multicolored. You can do counting and patterns. You can do all of that with this. So you want to have blocks. These are another type of blocks. I just wanted to have some illustrations for you today. So these are different types of blocks. These are still wooden blocks, but they are, not as fat in the square. They're more rectangular in the shape. But again, they have the colors on the end, right? So you can do some things with that. But allow the child to just explore. I think that's the biggest thing, making sure they have that safe space and that they are actually using the manipulatives, whatever that means. Manipulatives just means to be able to manipulate. All right. And so you want to have these manipulatives so that they can create what they want. All right. And so using these now, when you're coming home from picking them up from school and they're little, they don't want to sit. They've been sitting or they've been in the car seat. You want to get them moving, and, you can turn on music. And again, we're not going to show them the video. We're actually going to just let them hear the music, and you could do wiggle, 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 or you could just sing it, right? Or you can make up a silly thing, or you could do head, shoulders, knees, and toes, things like this to help transition. One thing I've noticed with children, and I know from studying early childhood for 18 years, is that transitions are very important, right? Allowing the child and getting them to understand the time, what's going on. So if you're in the car and you're bringing them in, hey, how was your day? When we get in, we're going to play. Mommy or daddy needs you to go to your space, okay? But let's go to the potty first. Let's get a snack first. Letting them know and actually communicating what's going to transpire, what is next. When you are teaching your child what is next, you're teaching them structure, you're teaching them order, you're teaching them routine. And so what happens is they will know, they will automatically, we as humans are naturally creatures of habit, right? And so when you're teaching your child these habits and to do this, they're going to automatically know what to do next, right? And so the more you do it, the better they become at doing that, unless they're sick or something, that's different. But when they know that, okay, hey, but if they know mommy's going to give me whatever I want, or daddy's going to just let me do whatever, that is an issue. And you want to make sure that you are giving your child a safe space to play and to be themselves and to be free within boundaries and guidelines. All right. And so these are some other, these, I just want to show you some things that you can buy. Listen, you don't have to spend a lot of money. I want to express that you don't have to spend a lot of money. You have to create a space for your child to explore. That is what we're looking at, is creating a safe space for your child to explore. All right. So again, like I've had these wooden blocks probably since my oldest was, young, and they're still in excellent condition. You can clean them, you can sanitize them properly, and they will last you a lifetime. All right. They really will. As far as these other blocks, they'll do the same thing. All right. So as long as you teach your child to respect the environment, respect the space, that's what they'll begin to do, right? So as I showed you in that picture about the table, we don't want them climbing on the table, your toddler. So if your toddler likes to climb, of course they're going to want to climb. You can have them, you could show them, teach them how to flip, you know what I mean? There's ways that you can get the child to engage and not damage the space or hurt themselves, okay? All while listening. All right. So some other things, some other manipulatives that you could possibly use are like little teddy bears. These manipulatives are amazing. They come in all different sizes, shapes. These are things you can use in the space. Have that bin that I showed you in there. Have a bin with some soft toys. You can have soft toys in there. You should have a mixture of soft and hard, especially for, you can have that, not the babies. You don't want hard objects for your infants, okay? But about 12 months to 18 months, you can start to introduce some, things that are a little more hard. If you're going to have anything for that age group, I would definitely suggest bigger, chunkier blocks, something that can't go in the mouth to choke. All right. These blocks here, if they're not used to sitting in an environment or, working with these type of manipulatives, I would not suggest this until they're roughly between 2 and 4, 2 to 5. They do great with these. Not that older children can't play with these, but definitely more so 2. But your toddlers, you want something fat that can't go in the mouth where they can't choke themselves. All right. You want something they can't choke. All right. So your softer toys, you want soft blocks for your infants, just because they could, they're still trying to navigate and they may throw. Toddlers throw. Yes, they do. So you want to make sure that you are teaching them the right way to use the objects that they are playing with. All right. And again, a snack when they come in is great, or a snack in the car, some music, and then they transition. If you're home with your child during the day, you have to have a daily routine for your child. Okay. I know you're working, but you have to have a daily routine. They should have breakfast. And then a lot of times, sometimes if you have not fed your child, that too will have an effect on how they're behaving within a space. If they're not fed properly or they didn't get a great nap. Listen, parents, it's okay for your child to take a nap. Let them have naps built in, because their brains and everything are developing at a rapid pace during this time. They need to take a nap. I know they're fighting you and they don't want to take a nap, but just have them rest, lay down, right? You could even put a timer on your phone. Okay. Hi, we're playing and now it's time for a nap. So these are things that you can do within the space, but you want to try to make your home a space that is consistent. And I do understand some things happen. However, you want to make it consistent. All right. You want to make it as consistent for the child as possible. While there may be 90 things going on, you may be working, you may be have to answer emails. If you make the space one, if you're home or even in the evenings, okay. I'm a a firm believer in early childhood education, that children need to be around other children. That's how they learn as well. And yes, I did homeschool my children as well. So I'm not, that's okay. All right. So, but they need to be around other children to engage. But nevertheless, if they're home and you're finding that this is a situation every time you come home, parents, there may be something you need to rearrange and redirect within your interactions with your child. Okay. So I just wanted to share some tips and tools. If your child is, if you feel like your child, you just don't know what to do with your toddler, don't feel like because your toddler is having a meltdown that's not okay. It is age appropriate, but you want to guide the behavior. We always want to guide the behavior. If they are having a challenge, you acknowledge their feelings, you acknowledge what's going on with them. However, I understand you're upset, but it's not okay to throw the blocks. All right. I understand that you are not happy at this moment or what's going on. I know you don't have the language, but if they're crying, they're still expressing something. So that is still language, it's expressive language. So you want to make sure that you are creating the space that the child knows, is their space to work within. Just like when you're at work, right? You have a space, an office or a desk or a cubicle. That is your space to work within. It is no different for a toddler or an infant, right? That is their space to work within. All right. And so helping them to understand this is the space that you get to work within. All right. If you go outside of those boundaries, or if you have to work within the space. So while it may seem as though they're behind a gate, it is for their safety. So I wanted to share that because a lot of times your children, children may be all over the place, but it's something that we have to do as the parents or the guardians within the area. We have to create the space. The children aren't supposed to create the space. As a parent, we're the ones that are supposed to create the space. We have to be the ones in charge of creating the space for the child. And if the child does not feel safe, that's oftentimes when they may do things that they should not do. So we have to create this safe space for the child. Our job as the parents, caregivers, are to create safe spaces for our children. All right. So I wanted to share that. I hope this has been very helpful to you. Listen, you can drop your comments here. If you have questions on other subjects that you would like to hear about on Enrichment on the Go, please let me know and I will address them at certain times, or I'll make sure I get to them. But this is the tool that we're going to be using is this YouTube channel to continue to create content for families. All right. So thank you for your time. Have an amazing day. And listen, keep being an excellent parent. Bye.